You've finally done it. You've been practicing and working at this for years. You made acting lieutenant, or you even made an officer position in the fire department. Now everything's on the line. You're going to be deploying to your first structure fire. Are you nervous? What tools can you utilize to make yourself both perform and look like an old pro as you're tackling your first structure fire? Let's discuss. Hi, welcome to Hyper Academy. My name is Ryan Fields-Spack. It's a ruthless world out there. How do you stand up and step out? You do it by getting your mind right, and that is what Hyper Academy is here to explore. Thank you for joining me today on this special Firefighter edition of the Hyper Academy All Access Show. We're talking all things performance in the fire service today. As a previous firefighter, captain with a large metro fire department, as well as a paramedic, we tackle a lot of these things about how to perform better in the emergency medical and fire service so that you can be a better practitioner of your craft. That's what today's all about. We're going to spend a little bit of time, a quick video, and talk about 5 steps that you can take on a consistent basis to improve upon your ability to perform when you're responding to that very strenuous and stressful situation that is an active structure fire, right? So let's get started. Before we do, I wanted to quickly give you a gift for being here. This is going to go directly in line with what we're talking about today, but this is a guide. It's a 1-page guide that will help to facilitate you performing better during stressful situations. So when that stress comes about, you get those nervous feelings boiling up inside your system. You get even that little queasiness inside your stomach. How do you tackle it? There's 3 steps that you can take. It's called First Just Breathe. It's a process for lowering your pulse rate, lowering your blood pressure, and lowering your anxiety so that you can perform in the moment. It's a mindfulness exercise. If you want to go to my website, it's hyperacademy.mykajabi.com/10 seconds. You can download this free guide. It takes 10 seconds to complete. Once you've read the guide, you'll be able to use this from here on and be able to really improve upon your ability to perform. So if that sounds beneficial to you, head on over to my website. It'll be linked down below in the description, hyperacademy.mykajabi.com/10 seconds. But let's get to it. How are you going to perform better when you have the potential to respond to a structure fire? This is a challenging situation, and I know when I first had the opportunity to be an acting lieutenant at the fire service, it was always the opportunity that you would be first in on a structure fire. And at least in my department, we were required to take command as the first arriving unit and delegate the responsibilities and tasks that were necessary for everybody coming in, right? So in order to do that and not look like a total fool, you have a lot of things that you can do in order to be more professional in that moment. As I said, we're going to talk about 5 things today. The first one may seem a little bit out there, but what I suggest is to meditate daily. You may say, meditate daily, Ryan, that has nothing to do with a structure fire. Sure, you're right. What does help to improve upon your ability to perform is the act of meditation. And meditation isn't something where it's a guru standing up in a hill somewhere that meditates all day. Meditation is simply the act of focusing on one thing, in this case your breathing, and noticing when your mind gets pulled off to a different location or direction, bringing it back once you've noticed, and then noticing when you get pulled into another direction and bringing it back to your breath. The exercise of noticing and coming back gives you repetitions in your mind, and it strengthens your ability to focus on the present moment and not allow external distractions to let you chase down that squirrel, right? So it's something really important to keep in mind. And if you can meditate on a daily basis, you're going to build that muscle up so it's nice and strong, and you will be able to focus better in the moment. And it allows you also to be more productive. So how do you meditate, right? One thing that I suggest is to just find 2 minutes. If you can give yourself 2 minutes a day, that's fantastic. Find a nice quiet place, preferably before your kids are awake if you got kids at home. Sit in a nice quiet place, set a timer on your phone, and sit for 2 minutes and focus on your breath. Close your eyes if you want. Focus on your inhalation and your exhalation. Your inhalation and your exhalation. I would argue it would take 2 full breaths before your mind starts to wander. Your mind is wired to wander, right? So as your mind wanders away, don't be hard on yourself. Acknowledge it, notice it, and bring yourself back to the present moment of the in-breath and the out-breath. Do that for 2 minutes. You're going to build up that muscle, as I said, and you'll be able to perform better. So if you have a regimen of meditation on a daily basis, even just 2 minutes, you're going to perform better at that structure fire. Second, The second thing you want to do is a mental rehearsal. I used to do this every single day when I was driving to the firehouse or even home from the firehouse. As I'm driving and I'm parking at a stop sign or a stop light, I look around and see, all right, what is across from me, and let me run a scenario. So as you pull up to that stoplight, you're going to see a building straight across from you. Let's say it's a 3-story multifamily structure. Plan out what you're going to say as you're talking to the dispatcher, and you can go word for word. Plan out what you're going to say in your head first, then say it out loud. Even people that are looking at you in the car next to you, they may laugh at you, but that's okay, right? Say it out loud and actually run through the initial size up as you're moving forward with things. Okay, we got a 3-story multifamily structure. Engine 1's on scene. We have active fire showing from the Alpha Delta corner. Engine 1's going to be Colfax Command doing a 360 investigating. Start a second alarm. We will get back to you with a report once I do a full 360. All units stage away. Right? Something pretty simple like that. And now if you have more time at the lights, you can mentally do your 360 and then make a second process of assigning what's going to happen for those incoming units, right? You're doing those mental rehearsals 3, 4, 5 times a day, whenever you get the chance, will help to build up those reps in your mind and your ability to be able to make those decisions when you are in the moment, because your mind will have already felt and seen that anxiety level a little bit before, right? So something to definitely think about. Third, when that call comes in, you're on the engine, you just had that alarm ring and you're getting ready to deploy out to the fire. Take the opportunity to lower your pulse and your blood pressure and your anxiety by utilizing the first just breathe process that I talked about in a guide that you can get linked down below, right? So if you can bring yourself into a calmer moment by taking a mindful breath, releasing your fists and releasing your jaw, your body's going to automatically lower its anxiety level, and you'll be able to hear things better, understand things better, and perform better because you're not letting this tornado in your mind start to ramp up and cause you additional anxiety, right? So at every inflection point, because you've done your meditation today, you will notice that your body has started to have a little bit more anxiety. You do a mindfulness exercise, bring yourself down a bit, and then you can move on with the next task. So as the map page comes in, as you're navigating to the scene itself, as you're discussing where you're going to park and grab a hydrant with your engineer, all of these different components can be done by utilizing mindfulness exercises along the way to keep yourself more calm and more focused. As you're arriving to the scene, even if you're driving emergent, plan out what you're going to say on the radio. This is the fourth thing that you can do to improve upon your ability to perform in the moment. This takes a couple different components as well, right? So plan out what you're going to say and what you think you're going to see based on what you've got in your radio dispatch. But also plan your cadence and your tone when you are getting ready to speak to that, right? If you've ever heard somebody, a lieutenant, a captain, anybody that's arrived to a very challenging scene and their voice octaves are a lot higher and they're speaking a lot faster, what does everybody else that's coming into the incident do? They rise up to the level of that commander who's setting the tone of that incident, right? And then the anxiety level just continues to increase and increase. Whereas if you show up to that scene and you call out your radio report with calm, very low tone and nice confident demeanor, you will be able to make sure everybody else arrives in the same mode, in the same fashion, and you're going to run a much better scene by doing that, right? So those are the two things towards the end that you want to do. Put them all together, right? Do your mindful or your meditation in the morning, so 2 minutes worth of meditation. Do some mental rehearsals. Keep yourself in a mindfulness perspective when you feel that anxiety welling up by doing a first just breathe exercise. Plan what you're going to say on the radio, and then finally say that on the radio in a much calmer, confident, poised tone, and then you're going to rock it, right? So some things to keep in mind, a short video today for you to kind of just chew on. Leave me a note down in the comments though. What are some of the techniques and tools that you use or used when you were initially beginning out in your career as a firefighter? What tips can you provide other up-and-coming firefighters and officers to help them improve? This is a great community. We'd love to learn from each other. These are just some top starting off points. Again, make sure to get that guide, hyperacademy.mykajabi.com/10 seconds. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you are interested in seeing more of this, please do subscribe. We put out content like this every single week. And have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Thank you.